All right. I don't know if you'll be shocked if I tell you this. Okay. Feel free to comment down below because I always read your comments. Um, um, I don't know how to put it. I don't know how to put it across, but there are a lot of individuals, men, okay, young boys, men, young men, who feel it is appropriate to target my daughter. And by target my daughter, I mean sexually comment or sexually attack my daughter. And how do they do this? They do this by creating fake email accounts. They do it by creating, YouTube. You can create how many ever profiles you want. And they also, take all these online. You can get a fake number, temporary number. And there are even emails you can have temporary, send what you want, and nobody can trace you. Okay. So they send these messages targeting my daughter. Okay. And I'm not going to read out what those messages are. However, what I can tell you is these are not messages that a normal person would ever put together or say to any human being, let alone the person's child. Okay. Now, I know there is a school of thought. There are a couple of people like, hey, Law, you invited this on yourself. Or there are, oh, why are you acting like as if this is something new? Hear me out. What I do online is I give you an opinion. I give you an opinion about, let's say, BJP, Indian politics, Narendra Modi. I give you opinions about men, women. Okay. So, giving an opinion on a subject, the question is the appropriate response to target your someone else's daughter or son and sexually speak on their private parts, sexually speak on what you would do to them or want to do to them, which I'm pretty sure you and I can agree and say, no, it's not right. Then there are other kind of pseudo intellect youngsters have gone, who have followed my life in the sense that they've listened to videos of my past, they've read my content, they know that I was a playboy. So what they do is they want to cross the line and they want to get a reaction from me. And then they ask questions like, what if your daughter wanted to be a prostitute or a OnlyFans model? Now, these are questions which I made another video, which I will be publishing. I've answered them a couple of times actually. Now, just to get one thing out of the way. If you think that I'm feeling very hurt, upset, you still have to get to know me. I have seen, heard, and experienced life much more worse than these words. Much more worse. So much so that I don't think I don't think a normal human being would have survived. Remember this, you're only giving me words, but I've gone through actions of human beings whose minds were very twisted. And I've gone through it from the age of 7 or younger. So, by giving bad words to my daughter or my wife or my family, it's not I'm sitting here and crying, oh, why did you say this? Or my blood is boiling and I'm going to kill you, I'm going to do this. I have been online for close to 20 years now. I've been earning a living, making a living. So putting a comment or giving me your fetish, your evil thoughts, so to speak, does not make me, like, does not spoil my day. It is not like I scream and I shout and I get up and I'm going to kill this guy, call the police and this and that. No, no. I read what you have to say. Oh, okay. I don't know you. I don't know who you are. You're never going to impact my life. You're not related to me. You don't impact my bank balance. It doesn't go up, doesn't go down. All I have to do is, if I didn't like the comment, block and delete. So it comes down to that. If I were, trying to portray that I am like, invincible, like, ha, 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 like trying to pretend, I would say something like, at least there is excitement, ha, 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 come on, bring it on, the thing is, it just adds, for lack of a better word, it adds to a variety of personalities that I know who are in this world. Now, why am I bringing this up? Why am I talking about this? The reason I'm talking about this is to make you aware that the world we live in is a very dark, dangerous, and deplorable place. There are human beings who look normal, dress normal, act normal. But behind lies a very dark and dangerous reality, which you can't see. See, the reason why these guys send these kind of emails or messages or whatever is because they know nobody can, nobody knows who they are. They are behind a wall of anonymity. They can create a new account. Nobody is going to catch them. They know that, like, for example, this is a room, nobody is coming in. So I know nobody is watching me, so I can do whatever I like. And that's the same thing in the virtual world. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows your name, where you stay. So you can say anything you want and get away with it. Anything. And when you combine this with a very poor upbringing, with a lot of, lot of mental, emotional issues that you have, you can do things without having the fear of wanting to pay. You don't have to pay the price for it. So that is why, like, for example, this one email I'll give you, email a message. He was talking about my daughter and he was sending his private parts, his pics, and telling that, show this to your daughter, show this to your wife. Actually, real. Okay. Now, here's the funny thing. The guy may be outside as a normal human being, as a nice guy, as someone who people say, hi, how are you? Maybe goes to work, maybe as colleagues, maybe as friends. He's normal outside. But the minute he closes the door, switches on his computer, knows that nobody is coming in, and he goes online and he takes on this new avatar, new name or whatever, anonymous name. He goes online, he searches who are the content creators or who are the people he does not like. And he has this frustration, he has this anger, resentment, or hatred, or whatever. And there he can spew out all that darkness that there is. He can talk sexually about a person's mother, sister, daughter, ha ha ha. And he knows nothing is going to happen to him. And he can go to sleep in the night knowing that, I just vented out my frustrations. Like, there are people who go to the gym who vent out their frustration. There are people who do exercise. There are people who may be cooking or reading a book or studying or meditation. For them, this exercise, to do this, to express these evil intentions, is the way they relax. Now, what I want to caution you is the online world, because you can be anonymous, is very, very dangerous. It's very dangerous for your children. It's very dangerous for you, your career, um, your family, your loved ones. It's very dangerous if you put out any information online, um, because you do not know which bad actor is on the other side. Now, does that mean that because of this, you don't have any online presence? Of course not. I mean, just because people get accidents when they drive a car, does that mean you say, no, I will not drive a car, or I will never go out on the road, I'll sit at home only? No, there are risks. If that was the case, I don't think a single person would have a Facebook account, LinkedIn account, Instagram account. There are risks, there are rewards. But what I'm trying to make you aware of is there are dangers. And you need to know what to read, whom to interact with, how to take those messages. Like, for example, does my wife have a social media presence? Yes. Is my daughter, her content, her video, her photographs online? Yes. Are they dangers? Yes. But then I can't live in a fear that, because they'll be targeted, they'll remain anonymous. No, you can't live with fear for all the rest of your life. So I've put some checks in place whereby, for example, my wife, in all the messages, she doesn't read. If it is sent by a Thai person, she might look into it. If it is sent by someone who types in English, it's obviously someone who is trying to get to me through her. Then obviously there are those guys who are searching for bobs and vagine, and who are just sex starved, who'll write to any female. Okay. With regards to my daughter, she's too young to have her independent social media account, but if ever she did, all the messages would be read by me. Okay. As far as I'm telling you my strategies, so you can choose and adopt whatever you like. I don't get into food fights online because I realize that it's a never ending. Like, there are some of these movies, Marvel movies, or you kill one, then there are 10 who, get spawned, and then you kill one more, then another 10 come. So I know that it's never ending. So what I tend to do is block and delete. Solves the problem. I don't need to argue nothing. There are people who have tremendous amount of energy, enthusiasm, who will keep creating new accounts. All it takes for me is block and delete. So there are people who send me long emails. I check the subject, I see a few lines, and it's very obvious who's sending this. It's very obvious what the gist is. Block and delete. So, I mean, what am I going to read? Like, what a piece of shit I am, or how pathetic my life is, or what my past is, present is, future is. Doesn't help me. Maybe to amuse myself, I might just see through an email or whatever, if I find something worthwhile. Then these messages that come about my daughter, that sexualize my daughter, again, block and delete. It's as simple as that. And where it has to go through cybercrime, or where it has to go through legal channels, You just send the data to them, they do their homework. But the main one which I want you to keep in mind is understand that if you get into a food fight or an online, this thing, it'll never end. There are some people who thrive, who live for that. Their lives are so boring. They don't have anything worthwhile. Because if you had something worthwhile, you wouldn't be doing this. Like if let's say you're playing a video game, would you have time to send toxic messages? If you're going to the gym and doing exercise, or if you're studying for an exam, or you're working hard towards your goal, would you have time to do this? No. So it is those individuals whose life is incomplete, whose life is empty. So all I would suggest to you is, if you're going to be online, understand that there are very dark and dangerous individuals, but who can be controlled, provided you know how to handle them, provided you know that if you block and delete, that's the end of the story. They'll create a new one, block and delete. So as simple as that. That is why maybe on my Facebook, before I had 4,000 plus people on one Facebook account. I brought it down to 200. Another one, I had another 4,000. Brought it down to, I don't know, 700. LinkedIn, I had 21,000 plus. I brought it down to now 3,000. Still, I'm deleting. I want to bring it down to nearly zero. If anyone wants to follow me, they can follow. Instagram, people add me up. I accept it. But if I find any comment or any statement which is not to my liking, block and delete. No need to argue, nothing. And then, like today, for example, on YouTube, in the morning, I had around 5 or 6 people whom I felt they didn't say anything out of the way, but they crossed the line. Like, why don't you do this? Why you're a piece of shit? You are acting. No time. Block and delete. That's it. So please keep that in mind. And yes, one final thing that I'll tell you is, be careful if your youngsters and loved ones are there online. Not everyone has the capacity or the stamina or the mental resilience or the fortitude to handle these. Some people take it very personally. Some people, it can affect them. Some people get into depression. Some people, it shakes up their their self-esteem or whatever. So be careful. And if you're not too sure, reach out to somebody who has experience and who can guide you. Okay. All I want to tell you is, I know you'll say, Lloyd, these people are sick and how can they be like this? And this is what happens when you are behind 4 walls of anonymity and you know that there's no price to pay. Remember, these are the very same individuals who dress, look, act, and behave normal outside. Just imagine that they have secretly this dark, dangerous, deplorable side to them, which they only show online, but it is still there in real life. So you need to be more careful in the real world, more careful in your office, more careful with your relatives, because the real side is just hiding, waiting to come out. It's not just the online environment. Be careful in the real world, which is even more dangerous, because there you don't know who are the snakes. You don't know who are the, like they say, wolves in sheep clothing. Okay. Just wanted to share this with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, human beings, they have a mind to think. They have emotions and feelings. And they'll give you enough and more justification. But I can challenge you one thing. Face to face. Never, they'll never do it. Face to face, they'll never do it. And they'll never do it revealing their true identity. They just can't. It's not about just guts and all that, which is obvious. They can't do it. They can only be brave behind a keyboard, mouse, an anonymous name, fake identity. That's why I call them a nothing and nobody, both online and in real life. They live a world of fantasy where they feel important. Don't give them any, block and delete. Problem solved. This is what I wanted to share with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Agree, disagree. Feel free. Let me know what is your strategy. What do you do to handle such individuals? All right. You guys take care. It's me signing off.